So, if you don't remember Debbie Wasserman Schultz, formerly known as Debbie Do Anything for Hillary Wasserman Schultz, let me refresh your memory. This is the former DNC chair that had to resign in disgrace for trying to sabotage Bernie Sanders' campaign when the DNC chair is supposed to remain neutral. This isn't according to me, this is according to the DNC's own charter. So while she was the head of that organization, she acted against its own rules, and now she is a very active surrogate for Hillary Clinton. She speaks at her rallies all the time, and with some of the things that she's saying, she's really showing that she's living in a different reality than everyone else, because it's not lining up with what's actually happening. So Observer explains, on October 21st, Wasserman Schultz made an appearance at a small Clinton campaign meeting for volunteers in Gainesville, Florida, the home of her alma mater, the University of Florida. The location of the meeting, the headquarters of the Gainesville Police Department, was likely chosen to deter any confrontation from protesters. However, Sanders supporters refused to forget Wasserman Schultz's role in rigging the primaries and made sure to demonstrate that they wouldn't let her off the hook as easily as the Democratic Party had. Let's just stop right there and let me pose this question. If you're worried about protesters showing up, if Debbie Wasserman Schultz will be a surrogate for you, Hillary, why is she still a surrogate for you? So they continue. Around 20 Sanders protesters showed up with signs outside the event, in contrast to the 50 or 60 Clinton supporters attending the inside. A few minutes into Wasserman Schultz's speech, the protesters interrupted her, at which point the regional organizing director for the Florida Democratic Party and former field organizer for the Clinton campaign, Omar Rashid, ran up to one of the two protesters and began yelling Hillary while fist-pumping in their face. Other Clinton supporters joined in the Hillary chant. While there are several constructive ways to de-escalate an interruption by protesters, this certainly wasn't one of them. Wasserman Schultz continued, going off on a tangent about turmoil in the Republican Party. It was so heartwarming how, if you look at the two contrasts that we have in front of us, a Republican Party that is in utter chaos, they are in the midst of a chaotic civil war, so much so that I'm not even sure the Republican Party is going to look the way it did before this election cycle started. And look at our party. Even though we had a very contested Democratic primary that lasted a long time, we are completely united. Completely united. No, we're not. Let me recap what went on. After you tried to rig the primary for Hillary Clinton, many people left the party. I was a Democratic Party loyalist prior to this primary. I was a registered Democrat. I have since changed my registration status to independent. I will now not be voting for the Democratic Party's nominee. In fact, I already submitted my vote for Jill Stein, a Green Party candidate. So you pushed us away, and while many people are falling in line and supporting Hillary Clinton, the party is not united. You single-handedly created this division between liberals and progressives, and you showed us that we have a contingent in the party that is really about pushing for progressive policies, and that's the progressive wing of the Democratic Party that Bernie Sanders currently runs or influences. Whereas the rest of the party, they're completely sold out. They're all about their donors. They're all about party loyalism, and any and all criticism of Hillary Clinton is either due to sexism or it's because you secretly support Trump. So if you criticize Hillary Clinton, you support Trump. And I mean, after smearing us during the primary and treating us like shit and disenfranchising us and pushing us away, you have the audacity to claim that the party is completely united, and you didn't mince words there. You reiterated, completely united, period. Really? So either you are living in an alternate reality or you're lying. And I don't think you're that dumb, Debbie. I mean, you're a pretty corrupt person, but we know that you're not stupid. You're very smart because it takes brains to really rig a full primary for one of the two major parties. And you've proven that you are very corrupt. So the fact that you would have the audacity to claim that we are united as a party, this is very akin to the tactics that Kim Jong-un uses. I mean, you go to Pyongyang and you see all these stores that look beautiful, but then behind the stores is just the country is in ruins. This is what she's trying to do. You see, on the surface, Democrats are completely united behind Hillary Clinton, but when you really dive deep, you see that the party is in ruins. And yes, the Republican Party may also be divided, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the Democratic Party doesn't have their problems as well. You have a portion of the party that wants wants to be conservative, and then you have a portion of the party that wants to be progressive. Liberals and progressives now are split. You have some that are independent, some in the Green Party, and some in the Democratic Party still, but you've pissed off a lot of people, so the fact that you're not even willing to acknowledge that is so frustrating, and you shouldn't even be a campaign surrogate for Hillary Clinton after doing what you did. And the fact that Hillary Clinton would allow you to continue to act as a surrogate for her shows that she would allow you to rig the primary for her and not even be apologetic, but to do it with hubris.